Well, we're kind of on lockdown in the office building, and it's just been a really, it's a sad day for America. You know, this is a day we're supposed to certify the Electoral College of a peaceful transition of power, and we get this violence. I've never seen anything like this in the Capitol. They took over the entire United States Capitol building, got on the floor of the Senate, went into Speaker Pelosi's office. There were gunshots fired, just absolute mob chaos.
Congressman, this is Quita Culpepper with KVUE News. I'm here with Brian as well. First, let me say I'm glad that you are safe. I wanted to ask, what is next? What comes next for y'all? I mean, you're basically trapped inside.
Yeah, we are. And the mayor's put a curfew on the city. You know, by the Constitution, we are to certify the Electoral College on this day, January 6th. I think, in my judgment, what happened, you know, was some of our leaders got these, you know, the mob whipped up with the expectation that Congress was going to overturn the election, which everybody knew was not going to happen. But we went through this sort of political charade, if you will, and when they found out through the vice president's letter that was released stating that he was not going to overturn, but rather certify, that's when you saw the violence breaking out, and then that's when they felt misled and they invaded the Capitol. We haven't seen the Capitol invaded like this since the War of 1812 when the British stormed it.
Congressman, let me ask you about that. Was there a failure today by Capitol Police? Where was the problem? What happened?
Well, the Capitol Police do a fantastic job, but, Brian, they're just completely overwhelmed. You have tens of thousands of very, angry mob in the streets. And, again, when they knew that the election would not be overturned, that's when the violence started. They just got completely overwhelmed, and gunshots were fired. Now we have the National Guard, and it's finally starting to calm down, but even outside my office, we heard alarms, and we heard the protesters storming through the hallways, in the office building. It's a bit unsettling to be under attack like that.
Now, Congressman, what happens now? Are you asking the president to say something? Are you and other Republicans and Democrats alike asking these people to just stop the violence? Yeah,
and we've certainly sent that out in our social media. I know the president got on Twitter with a video calling for a peaceful end to this, but quite frankly, I think he got them whipped up into a frenzy. So yeah, they'll listen to him. He's the one that needs to tell them to stop the violence and go home. This is not the way democracy is supposed to work. We have a peaceful transition of power. We don't have violence, in a coup. And it really sends a bad message to other democracies around the world. Yet this is the United States of America, and yet you have this kind of violence on the sacred day that we have in Congress to certify the state's electoral colleges.
Congressman McCaul, who's calling the shots right now? You said things are starting to kind of simmer down a bit. Are Capitol Police in charge? Is the National Guard in charge? How are you getting information that you need there in your office?
Well, we have an enunciator, they call it, and we get messages. They have told us to stay on lockdown, right now. I know the National Guard has been deployed, working with the Capitol Police to get this frenzy, get this mob controlled. To see them in Speaker Pelosi's office, to see them on the Senate floor, standing in the president's chair, where the vice president sits, the president of the Senate. This is just insanity. It's a very sad day for America, and it's a sad day for our democracy. And I hope it's time for this to end. we know that Biden's going to be inaugurated on January 20th, and it's time for this violence to end.
So will the objections continue, do you think, when this, whatever you want to call this coup, invasion, insurrection, when this ends, will the objections continue, or do you feel like this has been enough and enough is enough?
Well, I think that's certainly a decision that Leader McCarthy is going to have to make here. I was not really in favor of this because we all knew it was a futile effort. Plus, the Constitution does not allow Congress to overturn state-certified elections. But I think this angry mob has been misled, and I think we need to get on with the business and get this thing done, like Leader McConnell talked about this morning. And we need to do it. We have to do it by the Constitution. We have to do it today.
Well, Congressman, you yourself said that President Trump whipped this crowd into a frenzy. Now, there are groups on both sides that are starting to call for his immediate impeachment. Is that something on lawmakers' radar, or is that something that can't even be discussed at this point?
Yeah, I just think we need, let's get through this peaceful transition of power. That's sort of my judgment, on this. And there's no room for violence here, and it really damages our republic and the institution of the Congress. And this is going to be a day we're going to remember for a long time.
Congressman Michael McCaul, thank you so much for taking the time. We're so glad to hear you and your staff are doing okay there. We wish a speedy recovery in this for you and everyone there at the Capitol today. And thanks for speaking with us here on KVUE.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Thanks, Quita.
Thank you, sir.